arrive. The first people to arrive need to tell us, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Loud and clear. Let us know, one person.
Maybe it's going to be a small gathering today.
Intimate, private gathering of 1, 2, 3 people.
Hello,
Morton. Welcome. Thank you for confirming that you can hear us.
My hands are cold.
Well, it isn't warm.
My hands are cold. Yeah.
Let's just wait for people. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Tony. Hello, James. Hello, Lizzie. Good morning and welcome to Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
Bloody live.
Again.
Morning, Siggy. Morning, Life with Molly. Morning, Nancy. Good morning, Vixter, Trandans, Gunilla, Maxine, Coffee. Welcome, Linda, Craig, Diana, Fruit Lady, Monica Anderson.
Oh, I like that, Fruit Lady.
Stevie Weavy, Pamela.
And Mike.
You know, I love the name Pamela.
Why?
But I always want to say Pamela.
Pamela.
Yeah, like Sue Ellen. Pamela.
A bit like Pomelo.
But I always break people's names down like that. Like Jocelyn at work, I call her Josie Lynn.
What do you call Paul?
No, you've not got one of those names, Paul.
No.
Morning, Betty Woo, Sherry, Faith.
Marion, Anita, Beatrice, Gillian. There we are.
Michelle,
there.
MC,
Mark.
Geraldine, Mark.
Piling
James.
Piling in.
Jen. Debbie. Welcome from all around the world. It's a truly international show today.
As it always
is. And Yorkshire.
And Yorkshire, yeah.
So welcome. We've got 44 people. Say hi.
Hi.
Good morning. Not you.
No.
Shush now, Paul. Jan from t'other end at Borough.
Oh.
Debbie, Linnell, Jane.
Cape Town.
Cape Town? Who's from... Linnell's from Cape Town. Amazing. Fantastic. Isn't it? Isn't technology amazing? And we'll be talking more about technology and artificial intelligence later in today's programme.
And from the place where Sprouts comes from.
From the place where Sprouts come from?
Yeah.
What?
Brussels.
Oh.
Brussels
nice.
Sprouts.
Brussels.
Costa del Birmingham. Yeah. Gosh, Birmingham's got rather swizzy though, hasn't it, Mark? The last time I was there, the station is just sort of, well, the station in the centre. What is the station in the centre? Something Street is just like, it's like something from Star Trek or something like that.
I once auditioned in Birmingham.
Did you?
For a residency in a club.
What, a strip club?
Yeah, it was a strip club. No, of course it wasn't a strip club, Paul.
Right, okay.
No, I was a singer. I was a singer back in the day.
A nightclub?
In a club. It was called, God, what was it? It was in the centre of Birmingham.
Spangles.
No.
Dangles.
And I sang Never Gonna Give You Up. And I Should Be So Lucky.
I think it was called Spangles then, yeah.
And I got the job.
Did you?
Yeah, I got the job. Yeah, but I had to turn it down because the commute was just, for the money that they were paying,
oh, right, yeah.
The commute was not worth it. I would have had to have stayed in hotels and things like that. So there we are.
Yeah,
Birmingham New Street, Paul.
Birmingham New Street, that's it.
Birmingham New Street. Yes, so welcome. Everybody, 60 people with us at the moment.
It's got a huge eye at the front thing with a projection, a big jumbotron in the shape of an eye. And they put lots of adverts on there and things. It's quite amazing. And the precinct in front of it. And then you get into the actual streets of Birmingham and you go, oh.
Yeah. Don't diss Birmingham. There's nothing wrong with Birmingham. Nothing wrong with Birmingham.
Oh, I can't do that accent.
I did the Paul bit wrong, but hey.
I just remembered at the back of the Alexandra Theatre in Birmingham after a show Boogie Nights. Little Richard getting very drunk at
Yeah,
an
all right,
opening
Paul.
night
God,
party.
nobody wants to hear
Oh.
that story.
Because
It's
when
all
I
about
was-
somebody nobody knows.
When I was in the West End, working in the West End, I had an office in Wardour Street, and we were working on Boogie Nights, the musical, which then had
Share.
Shane Ritchie was in it to
Oh.
start with, and then Kane,
Kane.
Thingy's husband, page 3.
Oh, Linda Lusardi's.
Linda Lusardi's lovely husband, and yeah, we had an opening night in Birmingham, and then I in Wardour Street, I was working. One of my assistants, or my assistant, was Richard. He was also called Richard, so I called him Little Richard because he was
Smaller than me.
Smaller than him, so
Most
he was
people
Little
are.
Richard.
Most
yeah.
people are. I'm 6'4".
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh dear. How funny. Yeah. Just a flashback to that seedy opening night party. It really was quite seedy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
And Little Richard stayed overnight. Let's just leave that bit there.
Stayed overnight where?
In Birmingham with one of the dancers, I think. And I drove back to London alone.
God, where is my Vivi Balm? My lips are dry.
I don't know. It's over there. You'll have to reach.
Let me locate it psychically.
Oh, Tommy Steele. Yeah, I worked with Tommy Steele once. I can't remember what it was, actually. That was when I was at Bill Kenwright. More on that later, oddly. Yeah.
More on that later. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, hello from France. Welcome, France.
Where in France? What does it say?
No, it says hello from
Hello
France,
from France.
Paul.
Yeah. There we are.
So, let's get on with the show, Paul. We've said our hellos. We've got 70 people with us this morning. Thank you for taking the time and your very precious time to join us this morning. Hello, Aurora Storm.
Hello, Ukraine.
Hello from Ukraine.
Gosh, yes.
Lovely.
Jill.
I'm
I'm
just moisturizing my lips. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
All 70 of you. It's like a small church hall gathering.
You say that every week now.
Yes, because I'm leading up to talking about the holy time of Easter, when the baby Jesus was born from a chocolate egg.
Are you going to talk about chocolate eggs?
I
Where they come from?
I honestly thought when I was a child
This is so
that
funny.
Easter was about Jesus being reborn from a chocolate egg and that was laid by a bunny. And I did think until the age of 14 that rabbits laid eggs. I know. Sad, isn't it?
I just find that absolutely hilarious.
You'll have to excuse me today. I've been decorating this morning. Painting. That's my life.
Hi, Vivi.
Hello, Vivi. Welcome.
Yeah, they got 4 eggs, haven't they, Vivi? Our local peregrines on the hospital. They've got 4 eggs. They have done for a week.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Is that in time for Easter?
It's sort of in time.
And will
for
one
Easter.
of them be the baby Jesus?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So let's get on with the show. So, yeah.
What have we been doing this week?
No, that's not
weather.
right, Paul. It's time
shut
for
up.
Richard and Paul's weather report. That's me gesturing at clouds.
Are you doing green screen for this then?
So
There are clouds wafting by in the background.
clouds and rain and sunshine. So Paul, come on.
Yeah, it's been it's been so wet this week. It's been so
ridiculous.
wet this week. We didn't have any hail like the previous week, but
Didn't
no, we didn't have any hail. But Michelle in America, she's had lots of hail. But it's been cold. I mean, it's been wet. We've had a few sunny spells, but really nothing to write home about. And I hope it's going to get better next week.
Well, I don't hold out much hope, to be honest, because it has been cold again. Although we've been trying to keep the heating minimal, like turning it off when it comes on.
That's pretty minimal.
Yeah, I need my handkerchief, Paul. My nose is running.
Oh dear. And
You
that's
carry on,
another
Paul,
thing
with
we've
the
got
weather.
at the
Carry on
moment.
with the weather.
We've both got sort of runny noses. Particularly, I'm picking up my tea. Particularly when we're sort of eating hot food, our noses start running, which is really annoying. But yeah, it's been pretty grim this week. Actually, there's been a moment, I think yesterday, of really, really bright sunshine, which was fantastic. And then in the evening, we were at a friend and it got really, really sunny again at the end of the day, didn't it?
Well,
Gloriously sunny.
the sun peeped through.
For about 20 minutes.
Golden sun of the evening.
But now it's back to grey.
Yeah.
Now it's back to grey. So, yeah.
But the thing is, the significant thing is that when you're decorating, and, you know, we know that Vivi is doing a huge amount of work, like we are as well. When you're painting, paint doesn't dry quickly enough. You know, usually you can recoat within 1 to 2 hours with most types of paint. But at the moment, it's taking a while for paint to really cure. So it's making those decorating jobs take twice as long to do. I am still painting the downstairs loo. This is the second
weekend.
Yeah, I've been trying to do bits in the evening, but when the light fails, and believe me, painting sort of woodwork, trying to paint it closely is really difficult for me because I would have to keep changing my glasses. So I keep sort of going over getting in close, but it's such a small space to work in that once you've done a certain area, you've got to be careful you don't back into it and you're suddenly left with a back full of paint. Just really fiddly, but it's almost there. I should touch wood.
Table.
Oak, touch oak.
Heavy oak as well.
Very heavy oak. I should be finished today.
Right.
I should get to the stage where I'm putting the furniture back on the walls, i.e. toilet roll holder, towel holder, things like that. But oh God. I tell you what, we're going to deserve a really nice holiday after all of this. I mean, I don't mean a 2-week holiday in Barbados or anything like that, because we certainly couldn't afford that, but a week off.
To go to Barbados.
A week off.
Right. Okay.
Don't you think? After all of this kerfuffle.
Well,
what a lovely word, kerfuffle.
We need to go and see Mum as well.
We need to go to Guernsey, so hopefully that will be, a little break for us. So, just busy all the time, doing stuff. So yes, weather has been changeable, very wet, and we also had a moment the other day, didn't we, Paul, where we were watching a child fascinated with a puddle.
Yeah, we did.
And we were talking about it, weren't we? Because what were we doing, Paul?
We were going to home base. It was yesterday morning.
Oh yes, that's it. Home base to get more paint.
And there was this father or guardian, could have been a guardian or uncle or something.
Could have been anybody.
With a tot, most probably only about 2 years old, something like that. Decked out in all weather gear with yellow Wellington boots, and the very carefully, because this was in a pull-in bit, the water had accumulated, so there was a big puddle in this pull-in bit off the side of the road, and the child was holding the guy's hand, and the child stepped into the puddle, and it was just so lovely.
It was just very sweet, and it reminded us of being kids and how fascinating puddles are with the reflection. And it's almost like, I remember looking into puddles and feeling it was like a sort of deep hole. Because of the reflection, couple of questions.
Lots of rippling. Just lovely it was.
So hold on, let's just get to a couple of questions. Kerfuffle is spelled Kerfuffle, and it just means a fuss.
A bit of a hullabaloo, maybe.
Well,
A hullabaloo
That's
with less
making
baloo.
things worse, Paul, in terms of an explanation. It means a sort of bit of a faff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the exact thing is. Chaos. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Vivi.
Debbie going to the Italian place. Well, we were actually talking about that last night, but we don't think we can afford 100 quid at the moment. So
Yeah.
I don't think we will be.
To be honest, Debbie, that was a real treat. I think we'll probably be getting something from the co-op and eating it in our room.
But the wonderful thing is that the people that I showed the allotment to that come from Guernsey a couple of months ago emailed me again this week saying, oh, you know, you are still coming, aren't you? Just to let you know, these are dates that we're away. So if you can come on either side of that, that would be great. So it's lovely that they've been back in touch, because one of the reasons we had to go out and eat so much, no, we had to go out so much and eat, not eat so much, was because there weren't cooking facilities in the room that we were staying in. So this place that we're going to stay, which is an annex to these people's home, that has got cooking facilities. So we'll be able to go to the local supermarket, buy things and cook them at home. So we won't be eating out so much. So it won't cost us so much, which is great.
Yeah, it is great. And it's a really good offer. And we're really just delighted that we've had that offer, because a trip to Guernsey, and we've said it before, is incredibly expensive, all things considered, i.e. Having to get the flights, because Guernsey has its own flight operators. It's not as though you can get an easy jet there for £9 or something ridiculous. So, you know, hire car is necessary to take mum out. And then, of course, paying for accommodation, so which is something we never used to do, because we used to stay with mum in her apartment.
So the cost sort of has gone up from £500 to £600 for 5 days to between £1,200 and £1,500 for 3.
We just haven't got that kind of money. We don't earn that kind of money.
No.
You know, that's the honest truth. So yeah.
I realised that at the moment I'm earning much less than I was in 1996. That's quite. That's,
me too.
You know,
Me too. And the prices, of course, have rocketed. So yeah, you know, that's the way it is. We cope. We manage well. We're careful. Yeah, there you go. That's it for that one. Lovely. What were we talking about, Paul?
We were talking about puddles.
Puddles, that's it. Lovely puddles. So
and it's,
there we
are.
You
know, it's so reminiscent of being a kid, though, isn't it? I mean, even now, when there's a puddle, if I'm coming back from the allotment and I've got waterproof shoes on, so I've usually got my boots on, I will stand in a puddle. I just love it. I just love it. And it's like the sea as well. Whenever you go to the sea, you want to go in the sea, don't you? You want to paddle your toes.
No.
Yeah. Well, you don't, because you're not a sea lover.
It's filthy, that's why.
It's not filthy.
Disgusting, polluted oceans everywhere, full of plastic and human sewage.
Thank you, Richard. Yes.
Yeah, but this is true. This is an issue that's happening at the moment because of excess water, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it all overflows and all goes into the sea. I mean, it's disgusting.
And rivers and all of that.
Disgusting.
And, you know, I think last year, was it that something like 833,000 times our water companies pumped contaminated water into rivers and seas.
Anyway, let's not get political.
Well, you know, it is everyone. We're political in everything we do. Each of us, you know, what we buy, what we say, what we do. It's all political. Yeah. So I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah. Well, Braverman's been on this morning, hasn't she?
Yeah, I couldn't listen to
Talking to Koonsberg on the BBC. Anyway, you just watched the vid about paranormal. Okay.
Oh, yeah, the puddle in Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely. That. Yeah. April showers bring May flowers. Yeah, well, that's very true. But all of the showers were in March. Yes, and they just brought sort of, you know, soggy ground. Yeah.
We don't schedule the live chats because we don't. So it's usually 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. That's what we've been doing for the past few weeks, and we hope to keep it to that schedule for the moment. So you just need to watch out for us on the channel popping up. Paul O'Grady, yes. Very sad news that Paul O'Grady has died. Yeah, I remember seeing him as Lily Savage many, many years ago, live in a club in Manchester. I can't remember the club. It was a gay club. Yeah, he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, very, very sad.
And of course, the first drag queen really to host a primetime TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Blankety Blank.
Blankety Blank.
Which he did for very, very many years. You know, that was a huge thing at the time. And I remember, you know, a lot of people, you know, we shouldn't have a man dressing as a woman, you know, on a TV program. And it's like, God, and that feels so long ago, but actually it can't be. It can only be like 20 years ago or something. Maybe a bit longer.
I think it must have been was it the late 80s?
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Not sure at all.
Our video about paranormal, yes. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant.
Thank you.
Oh, look, set their alarm in Canada. MJ set the alarm in Canada. That's great. Why isn't this coming up with the live chat when
it is?
Is it?
You don't ruin it again, Paul. You did this last week.
Indiana, right? Yeah, I don't know where. I know Indiana's in America, but I'm not very good at knowing where states are.
Oh, I've got no idea where anywhere is in America whatsoever.
Indiana feels as though it's the middle south to me.
We weren't taught anything like that at school.
I mean, not South America, North America, but middle south. That's what it seems like to me. Yeah.
Good morning, Vicky from Dallas.
Oh,
Dallas. I used to love Dallas.
Yeah.
Didn't you just adore Dallas?
It was such a must-watch, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it. Anyway, let's move on with the show now, Paul.
And hi, Caroline, as well, who's joined.
Hi, Caroline. So let's move on. So, was it
Elias Grace that you were watching?
Alias Grace? No, I don't know what that is. Do you?
I don't know what that is.
No, we were watching Grace, the detective show. That's what we were watching last week.
Yeah.
It's just called Grace. Okay, so questions will be later when we've done the agenda.
Agenda.
Yes, let's move on. So, what has the week been like, Paul? Well, as we've said, it's been very busy.
It has, yeah. I've had a busy week at my desk. I also finished off the March piece of A Guernsey Gardener in London, which went into the Guernsey Press yesterday. I paid a visit to Vanessa and had a day fully in the For Her Sake shop in Cranley in Surrey. So that was Thursday. We have a printable shopping list, and I was checking that everything on the shelves is in that shopping list. There's quite a number of convoluted, not necessarily overlapping systems. It would be great if certain things talk to each other technology-wise, but that's for the future. So it's a really busy day. And then in the afternoon, Vanessa said, "Oh, we need to go." And I said, "Oh, where are we going?" And she said, "We've got to see Jenny back at the barn, because Vanessa, where she lives, she's converting a 17th century barn into an eco-performing space and an event space as well." And I went, "Oh, Jenny Seagrove." And she went, "Yeah, Jenny's coming because Jenny, she has a charity called Main Chance, which is very close to For Our Sake. And she was coming to look at the barn, or how the barn will be, about doing events there." So that was really great. So I met up with Jenny Seagrove, and I think the last time we saw Jenny must have been the opening of For Her Sake.
Yeah.
So that was really lovely to see her, and then she's been back in touch with me separately afterwards as well. So I might actually be going into my old workspace at Bill Kenwright Limited in a couple of weeks' time to have a chat with her about a few things. So that will be interesting. But yeah, it's it's been a really busy week, absolutely. And you've had one as well. You've had a full-on week at work, haven't you?
Yeah, it has been full on. Yeah, just, social care at the moment is quite busy. There are lots of things going on. Money is tight in social care. Services are scant, let's say that,
Yeah.
in terms of things to do during the day, which we call day opportunities in social care. So a few years ago, a lot of our day centres closed down to save money because central government funding had been cut, and that continues to be the case. So a lot of the day centres are sort of privately owned day centres now, run by private companies but commissioned by social care. And of course, as the price rises are occurring in things like energy bills, the prices for services have to go up. So I've seen quite a few things go past me recently that have involved price rises in care packages. So
because if they're in a space, that space will need to be heated
and
lit, all of that. So costs go up, and of course there's very often a food provision in these packages, isn't there? Whether it be lunch or whether it be tea and biscuits, sandwiches, things like that, and that all costs. So overall, the package cost goes up.
And let's not forget, that many vulnerable people with disability have to be in a heated environment. Has to be a heated environment for them. You cannot allow these people to get cold because it will cause issues for them with various illnesses that they have. So prices are rising across the board.
Yeah.
And it's outrageous.
But let's be totally clear on this. What this is about is chronic underfunding of the essential services of our country by the government of 13 years. That is what this is about. Yeah. I saw this thing earlier in the week about the NHS, about how people's thoughts and views on the NHS and how they approved of the NHS at the moment, and the ratings were pretty, people weren't satisfied with the NHS at the moment. The ratings were lower than they ever have been. I'm 100% satisfied with the NHS simply because I know it's been chronically underfunded by our government for over a decade.
But the thing is, you've got to be careful with those kind of comments, because the NHS is divided into so many different
facets,
departments.
Yeah.
And for example, in our department, which is part of the NHS, the feedback that we receive is always top. Because every appointment that we hold on our premises and home visits, each person has to be given a feedback form to fill in, which is called the Friends and Family Test. And this is a feedback form which basically shows whether or not you would recommend the service to your family and friends, which is a bit bizarre, to say the least, because family and friends with our service aren't necessarily likely to have disabilities. So, it's a bit strange. But our feedback is always very good. And of course, these services have to be inspected by the CQC, the Care Quality Commission, as well, and rated accordingly. And we've always been rated very good. So you can't lump all of the NHS into one, which these reports very often do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's exactly, Michelle, exactly my point. Busy week. It's busy time in social care and health, although this week will probably be slightly quieter, because in terms of phone calls during the holiday periods, it always seems to quieten off because people have got other stuff on their minds, i.e. some people are going away, people are doing other activities, provision has to be put in place for the bank holiday weekend. So there'll be a flurry of people doing last minute stuff, and then it'll quieten off. So, and of course, Good Friday on Friday, Paul.
It is Good Friday.
The day
yeah.
off,
Yeah.
which of course is my normal day off anyway, but we get the Monday as well. Hurrah! That means more time for decorating.
It does. Yeah. I also forgot I did something else in my working week this week.
What was it, Paul? Tell everybody.
I applied for a job.
What?
I did apply for that job at Saga.
At Saga?
Saga, as a channel editor for gardening at Saga, and I applied for it. And I said to you, should I? And you sort of went, no, don't. And I sort of thought about it for a while, and I decided I would. So I applied for this job, which I don't expect to get, because I'm sure there are other people who are already channel editors for other things, other companies, who will have applied, and they'll have the absolute skills to be able to do that. But I thought, you know what, I might as well. And it will be interesting to see what comes back, which I sort of think will be a thanks but no thanks, but we'll see. It was quite interesting though, doing a letter and a CV, a sort of specific CV around the skill set for the job, if you see what I mean. Because I haven't done that since I was 21. The last CV that I had, the last cover letter I wrote for a job was when I was 21. And I haven't done one since, because I've always been offered another job from the job that I was working in before, of course, I started my own company. So, yeah, which is now our company, So, yeah, there we are.
Well, I wonder if you'll even get an interview, Paul. That would be fun.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Lovely. So, yes, the week has been busy. We also managed to do a swap round of the dining room and the middle room.
Gosh, was that only this week?
It was last Sunday, wasn't it? Wasn't it last Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, it was.
We swapped all the furniture around. So the snug that we had during winter, which we ended up not using that often.
I used it every day.
I know you used it in the mornings, but I was at work.
I was at work.
I
was just working in the snug.
Those are the snug is now the dining room again, and the middle room is a second reception room, a second lounge. So that was good. We're doing that to, stage the downstairs area for viewings. We're hoping that the property will go on the market within the next 2 weeks. We should have done all the jobs that need to be doing, and potentially a couple of other things as well that I've got my eye on to do. We've also made progress with the bathroom sink. As you know, last time we talked about getting some help to remove the taps and the basin. I set about cleaning the tiles where the water damage had occurred, and actually they cleaned up really well.
They have, yeah.
I used a mixture of vinegar, sodium percarbonate, and yeah, they've come up really good. So actually, I think there'll be a minimal bit of repair grouting going on, but that's it. And then the tap and the basin can go back on. Oh, lovely. Yes.
And I took the little tiles off the sink, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
But that was really, that sticky stuff.
Was that a big thing for you, Paul?
It was pretty major, yeah. It was pretty major. I've not, yeah, because if I put too much pressure, is it going to scratch something? And I thought, hang on, this is underneath, so yeah, it's not even going to be visible if I do
What
that.
had happened when we removed the sink bowl, it lifted some of the tiles where I had glued them on so well.
With silica gel or something, was it?
Where the silicone seal was, it adhered to the tiles, and I glued it on so well with silicone that it lifted some of the tiles, which is absolutely fine because they're underneath the bowl, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to re-grout that area so it's flat for the bowl to go back on.
But therefore, yes, they were still stuck to the bottom of the bowl
and needed to be prized
off.
off.
They did. Prizing them off wasn't too bad. That was relatively easy. It was just getting that silicon
Oh yeah, it's hard,
off
Paul.
the thing.
Welcome to my world, Paul. The world of DIY.
Yeah, I do most of the cooking.
It's not easy. You
No.
know.
Oh, I can't go
Can't go on anymore. We'll do a video about that. So yeah, it's just it's been a busy week. It's been a busy week, but we still enjoy our evenings and our games of Scrabble.
Yes.
Plenty more Scrabble scores.
He had one night where he just was incredible.
It was that one there, which begins with a 60. A 60. Can you believe it? What was the word? Can you remember?
Was it charming or something?
Charmed.
Charmed.
And it hit
two
double word scores.
Yeah. It's
exciting.
It was great, but night before, the letters fell to me. But that one where they fell to you, we've never had a game like that.
It was incredible.
He was miles ahead.
Hello,
Absolutely.
New Zealand, Herbalist Cottage, welcome. So
36 minutes ago, Marissa, there we are. 36 minutes ago. See, it comes up.
That's fine. It's fine, Paul. Leave it. So, what else, Paul? What else has been going on?
Quite a few Aussies now.
Talking about the NHS.
Oh yeah, we had a treat, didn't we?
We had a little treat on what day was it? Wednesday. Wednesday. So very occasionally we do get given some money, a pot of money. Which
not individually, the service.
The service is, this happens to quite a few places in the NHS. We're given a little bit of money for a treat. And very often this is spent on some kind of outing. We were going to go to Dopamine Land. Have you seen it?
No.
Dopamine Land is a sort of installation. It's like lights and, this sort of, installation type thing in London. But we didn't manage to organise that. So what they organised for us, what our bosses organised for us, was a wood-fired pizza service, which would come and serve lunch for the staff.
So a van turned up, a pizza van turned up.
It's like, it was a car and a trolley thing.
Right.
And then he fitted a sort of pergola thing up.
Yeah.
And we had wood-fired pizza for lunch. I decided not to have mine for lunch, so I brought it home and we had it for dinner, reheated in the microwave.
Yeah.
Which was actually very successful.
It was. So we used the oven feature of our combi microwave.
Yeah.
We didn't use the microwave function because that would have just baked it. So yeah, it was good. And it was really crispy.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. It was a nice treat.
So we don't very often receive that kind of hospitality.
No.
But we were fortunate and very appreciative. And I think it's important that staff occasionally get a little perk.
Totally.
Because actually you do appreciate it and you do feel valued by those kind of actions. Of course, I'd feel even more valued by a pay rise, but hey ho, can't have everything, can we?
No, that goes back to what I was saying about the government earlier in the chat. So there we are. Yeah.
Also, this week, I'd like to report that daffodils and tulips are appearing in the garden, finally.
Yeah,
finally. The daffodils and tulips that I planted last November.
Autumn. Yeah.
I think it was October, November when I did them. I think I did a little video about it. Some of them have come up.
The daffodils were earlier, weren't they? They were September you did them, I think. But anyway, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Some of them have flowered, so I'm really pleased. And we've got some delightful little ones flowering at the moment.
They're lovely, yeah.
I don't know whether they're supposed to be little or whether they've been stunted for some reason.
No, I think they are. I think they are like that. They're not tete-a-tete, but they are sort of
very more pale.
Yeah. Yeah.
pale lemony colour. So I'm really pleased about that. So I thought I'd let you all know.
When I was at Vanessa the other day, she had a rather lovely primrose, clump of primroses, but one of the primroses um, was like it was like a magnolia. It was hardly cream at all. It was almost white. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And it wasn't a polyanthus. I mean, they all are, but it was a primrose, you know.
And of course, in London, across London, the tree blossoms are in full swing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Our blossom tree is out in the back garden. We've had a succession of several blossoms. So you've got the pear and the plum that seem to come out first, and then the cherries, the magnolia, the forsythia at the moment is out. And yeah, it's just a joy to see. It's a shame that we've had so much wind and rain,
Yeah.
because if
That's battered the blossom.
if there's one thing that's going to bring the blossom down, it's those things.
But we're back to that wonderful thing of where you go, as long as it's not too wet, when you go underneath a blossom tree, you can hear the bees buzzing in it, which is lovely, even though it's not particularly warm at the moment.
No, it's not, but it's really good. So yeah, it's a petal snowstorm. I love that too. Yeah, they probably are narcissus, actually. Ours aren't
Yeah,
they?
they are. Yeah, they're all narcissus. Yeah.
So there we go. What else do we need to talk about? So, blossoms in the news this week. What has been in the news this week? Well, it's a bit of a shit show down at Dover, isn't it? At the moment, I hope nobody's stuck in a traffic queue waiting to go on holiday. 14 hours people have been stuck for. 14 hours. Well, that's Brexit for you. Yeah. And it is Brexit, because apparently now each individual passport has to be stamped.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, you just used to walk through.
Yeah.
You'd show your passport, walk through.
Yeah.
But now each one has got to be stamped because of Brexit.
I think the problem, MJ, is the fact that people are weighing at the side of the road and doing other things at the side of the road as well, you know, because there very often aren't the facilities. If you can't get into the terminal building, you know, what are you supposed to do?
Do it in a bottle.
Well, yeah, but what happens if you don't have a bottle? You know, I mean, yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And of course, Cruella Braverman was on this morning, and she was questioned about it, and she sort of just brushed it aside and said, you know, oh, well, yes, well, there are going to be delays. It's a busy time, blah, blah, blah. And we've done this, and go away, woman. I nearly swore then. Paul.
You did, yes.
I did.
What they always say is, we have plans to do this. But the thing is, they've had plans for 13 years, and look where we are. But anyway, don't get me on our government. Yeah. Adult nappies, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tenor man.
Yeah. So
it's a good job, Paul. We didn't decide to go down to Dover and visit friends, because it's not just people at the terminal.
No, it's not.
It's people travelling to that part of Kent.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it becomes nigh on impossible to get down there.
Yeah.
You know, the M20 is used as a lorry park.
I mean, I was thinking, with the long weekend coming up, maybe we could get down to Dungeness. I did, because we haven't had a day out for quite a while now.
No, we
haven't. Know, we've had an hour at home base, or quarter of an hour at home base, and things like that. But we haven't been out for our walks because Richard's working full time at the moment still. And I thought maybe we could get to Dungeness, but once I saw the queues, you know, if it's like this now, it's likely to have alleviated a bit next week. But
not necessarily.
You know, what about those people who've gone away for a week and they're coming back? Maybe the traffic coming back will be. So no, I don't think we'll be going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can do the journey, but you can do it by B roads. But it takes such a long time. It's just absolutely outrageously ridiculous in this day and age that we still have this. But you know what? Number of people.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Number of people.
I was really heartened the other day when I heard about a couple our age who were having a celebration that their son and his partner weren't going to be having children, weren't going to be having children, so they weren't going to have grandchildren, and they were celebrating that. And I thought, actually, good on you. There's everyone always celebrates a new grandchild coming along and things like that. It's good to celebrate when they don't as well, because that's not adding to population of the world, blah blah blah. So yeah, I like that.
I just don't understand how people can afford children. I mean, 20
No.
years ago, they used to say that the cost of bringing up a child was something about around £110,000.
Yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
must be double that now.
I would have thought, yeah.
I mean, how on earth can anybody ever afford that? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And, frankly, I think the planet is getting clogged up, and not with people necessarily, but with the stuff that goes in maintaining a population. The amount of stuff that people consume and buy during a lifetime must be crazy. And that stuff is still there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like goods that are made, that are manufactured. I've said it before. I liken it to going to a seaside town. Go and have a look in one of those seaside shops. Yeah, the ones that you send your kids into.
The tat shops.
Go and buy something, yeah. Just have a look in one of those shops and think about the amount of plastic tat that will eventually end up in the sea. Think of the amount in one shop, yeah, and all the stock. Multiply that by the number of little seaside tat shops, I can't even say it, tat shops there are, and then multiply that by the number of stuff around the world. I mean, it's just ridiculous amounts of things that are made to sell to us that are absolute rubbish.
I mean, every piece of plastic that has ever been is still around in one form or another at the moment. That is incredible.
And if there aren't the people to consume, then those things wouldn't exist. It's only because of, really, I hate to say it, but it's the G word, greed, that fuels all of this along the line.
I read I watched a really good video from Tony Benn, who was one of our politicians many, many years ago. And it was in 2008. And he said that we're still fighting the same battles that we were after the Second World War. And that was interesting. Yeah. Anyway, next.
Let's move on. So yes, Easter holidays. You can feel it in the air already. People are fleeing, but can't get anywhere because the roads are blocked. The airports aren't too bad at the moment, I don't think.
I don't know. But I've noticed that I know it's holiday time and the kids are off because there's a increase in the amount of dog mess on pavements. We notice this every single time. It's a bit of a moany one today, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like a good moan. I think it's healthy.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, an increase when the holidays come around. There's an initial increase in dog mess on our pavements. So yeah, there we are.
Yeah, I mean, every Christmas, Easter. I also noticed there are small gangs of feral children hanging around the street corners. Yeah, but you know what? What I noticed the other week, those canisters,
the laughing
gas canisters. So clearly they haven't been banned yet.
Well, no, I mean they won't be banned for ages.
Why on earth do they use laughing gas for whipped cream?
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it's for?
Chefs use it for whipped cream.
Right.
Why is that? I don't understand that. What happened to actually whipping cream?
Well, you get
with
it in a can now.
with a whisk.
Is it can?
No, what I'm saying is they use it as a propellant
No, I know.
for whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why just not have a machine that whips the cream?
Oh, I don't know.
Like a mixer.
What, they fire laughing gas into cream?
It's used as a propellant. Yeah.
You see, this is another.
And those
yeah.
canisters are then used by the kids to get high. And then that in turn causes spinal damage, apparently.
Yeah, it can kill you. So
yeah.
I just don't understand why these things are so easily available.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, knives,
Happy birthday, Sue. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Move on.
So Easter holidays are upon us. Many people are going away. Many people are going to enjoy a little break on a beach somewhere, lounging around, doing nothing. Good luck to them. Whoppo!
I was just trying to move you on. Yeah.
So we just want to say happy Easter to everybody who's going away and enjoying a nice holiday. Have a great time.
Oh, yeah. It's not Easter till next week, is it?
Yeah.
Ostera. Is that where it comes from? Easter?
We've had this conversation
and
before.
Estrogen and things.
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it? It's
eggs.
Yeah, it's all around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not eggs laid by bunnies like
eggs laid by bunnies with the baby Jesus reborn in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a cream egg.
I find
Jesus
that just hilarious.
is a cream egg.
Oh.
Anyway.
Actually, that brings us on to something else, because there was a picture I saw the other day of Jesus holding a submachine gun.
What?
And I never ever look at pictures of guns and things, just ridiculous. That
what was
people
it?
own
What
guns.
was it?
It was AI. It was artificial intelligence. And this week, there's been a call from quite a few scientists and quite a few people who know their stuff to halt the development of artificial intelligence, because it's getting so intelligent so fast and so quickly that what?
Yeah, but it's not as though there's one central AI.
No, there isn't. There's lots, but it's calling for the development around the world by everybody to be slowed down. Absolutely. Elon Musk wants to halt it. I mean, I don't think Elon Musk is, the greatest person in the world, but he's calling for this to happen as well.
Maybe what will happen is all the AIs around the world will start talking to each other secretly.
Hey, Terminator, actually, I saw this a couple of weeks ago. Somebody posted a thing about the fact that was it Fritz Lang, the Metropolis, who did Metropolis, also did a version of Terminator in the 1930s, and there was video footage of the movie that Fritz Lang made of Terminator in the 1930s. Apart from the fact it wasn't true, Fritz Lang never made that movie.
So was that an AI as well?
It was created through AI. This movie was created through artificial intelligence. With basically someone saying, please create this, So it's really interesting. And I asked Google Bard, which is AI, which I think most people have access to, I know that I do, to write an article about a Guernsey gardener in London. So not write a Guernsey gardener in London article, but just write an article about a Guernsey gardener in London. And it came up with like 6 or 7 paragraphs explaining who a Guernsey gardener in London is. And I was astonished. I was really astonished because, my writing under that title is really incredibly small. There's only maybe 30 articles in total, yet it created this story of a Guernsey gardener in London. And who this person was, and the fact that they love gardening, they love telling others about gardening and growing and allotmenteering and things, and it was quite chilling actually. And then you think for all the writers, you know, newspapers could just be AI. It could get to that point. We
Did
got
you
a
hear that?
dove. Yeah.
There's a wood pigeon on the chimney.
But yeah, it's AI is. I mean, I've thought for many decades, you know, that the expansion in robots and things doing things, where are people actually going to find the money? Because the jobs won't be there eventually for people to do. So how are people going to live? You know, it's frightening.
There's been discussions around this, and the future is probably some kind of universal payment that everybody gets, irrespective of whether they work or not. That's something that has been discussed.
But can you imagine that being brought in the UK? I can't.
Well, certainly not with current attitudes that people have, you know. I think in general terms, there are a lot of very lazy people out there who would just never work, whose families have never worked, they've never worked, their children will probably never work and will exist on benefits. So, you know,
but I think that's going to be a greater
reality.
proportion of the population who actually can't get a job. I mean, Retrovox is saying there that they use Chat GBT plus a photo AI system in their business, you know, and that's, you know, it's great that you can do that, but that's actually doing an artist and a writer out of work. That is what that is doing, you know. So the job that I would like to be doing may not exist in 5 years' time. You know, it's things to think about. It's made, and that, I don't know if you saw the Pope in a puffer jacket. Did you see that photo?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. You know, that did make me smile. Things like that can make you smile.
But the thing is, I think what's interesting in all of this is the fact that there are many people who do not have the ability to discern what is real and what is fake. So, for example, with the Pope picture, I saw that and immediately knew that wasn't real.
Yeah, so did I.
But a lot of people would have viewed that and gone, oh, the Pope's wearing a big coat, maybe he's cold. You know.
And if he was an Italian Pope, he might be very stylish and have that coat anyway.
I thought that because I thought there's absolutely no way the Pope would wear that. There is no way that would happen. And I had to sort of think, oh, maybe it has. But I thought, no way. And then I saw that it had been created with Photoshop or whatever, or AI.
AI, yeah.
Yeah, but AI is an umbrella term to say about anything that has a modicum of intelligence to it in terms of technology.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you can have a washing machine that's got AI in it, and the washing machine is not going to start taking over the household.
Absolutely, and a lot of things in the NHS have got AI built into them, and they help us live.
AI components are great when used in the right way. I think the problem is that AI is becoming available to people to be able to write essays and novels and things like that, which essentially is cheating. So, you know, it has its place, but it shouldn't be allowed to be developed too far. So it's being used by people to create things that could be created by humans earning a wage.
I mean, it's like, you know, Chat GPT has a paid-for system that can be bought by schools so that they feed in the essays that kids write, and then the Chat GPT will decide, you know, have a ruling on whether they have created it or not. So basically, they're creating this so that people can have things created by AI, and then using AI to check whether things have been created by AI. But you have to pay for that.
I think the problem is that people will lose the ability to communicate effectively using words and adjectives and verbs and whatever else. People will lose the ability to do that. Paul, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the comments because they're not coming up live. Yeah, deep fake, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just saying something and you've put me off now, Paul.
Well, you should just carried on saying it.
Okay.
Hazel O'Connor song, yeah.
Oh, Hazel O'Connor, 8th Day. Yeah, Hazel O'Connor's not been very well. She had a stroke. She's in recovery at the moment. It was really sad to hear that, but she's doing well apparently. Well, is it scary? I think it's only scary if this stuff is misused. Like I say, if it's used to cheat or if it's used to qualify yourself, you know? Do you know what I mean? If people are using these things to do exam work or, you know. Anyway, let's move on. So now is the time to ask any questions you might have. We've an hour into the show.
Gosh.
163 people watching at the moment. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
What was the first question? What did we want to be as children? When we were children, what did we want to be when we grew up?
Initially, I wanted to be a policeman.
Oh.
Yeah, initially I did. I wanted to be in the police. I think it was the uniform.
What, the truncheon and the large helmet? You thought that was exciting.
And then I wanted to be an actor.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a job being an actor, but you couldn't do it because you were too young.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to work in horticulture.
Well, there you go. Your wish came true, Paul.
And it's funny because there is an article that I have written. I'm writing an extended one about that. You know, how when we're younger we want to do things, and we very often come back to them when we are older. As I did in my 50s.
Well, I've always said, and I used to say it to clients when I was a coach, think back to when you were young and what inspired you when you were young. See, the comments are coming up, Paul.
They are now, yes.
Yeah. Very often that points to your most authentic self. And actually, I really admire the police now. I speak to the police quite often through work. And I've always had a good experience with the police. I know there's been a recent report that says otherwise, but I've always had a good experience. And I think it's about how you treat them as well.
Oh, absolutely. Totally.
You know, if you're disrespectful to them, then, you know, they will show you their force, so to speak.
Yeah, and I've dealt with the police a number of times over the last decade or so, and each experience I've had with the police has been really excellent. So yeah. We had Robin. We had, when I was living in Guernsey, I think 3 uncles and 2 cousins were in the police, and I think that was a police force of about 80 people at the time. So that was sort of quite significant.
My great grandfather was a police officer. William Hammonds, I think his name was. Hammonds with an S in those days. We have more questions. Lovely. So, Karina, your question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
I don't.
In 10 years' time, I hopefully see us in the next property that we're in, enjoying a slightly quieter life. Yeah.
I think it's interesting the difference between where do you see yourself in 10 years' time and what would you like to be doing in 10 years' time? I'd like to be writing novels.
Okay, lovely. So David, what are your priorities for your next new property? Would you shop for anything in particular that's different? Priorities. Priorities are just to have a house that is solid and hopefully not too new,
With a bit of character,
with a character to it.
hopefully a garden.
I would love a garden, and I'd love a conservatory.
Yeah, you would love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love conservatories. I love sitting in a conservatory.
Aurora, where did we first meet, and was it love at first sight? No, it wasn't love at first sight at all. We met in a theatre. There is actually a video. We did do a video on how we met.
Go and have a look
So
at
do
it.
have a look at that, because it's quite interesting how much I remember and how much Richard remembers, because there is a difference between us. Yeah. But yeah, we met in the foyer of a theatre, basically.
Yeah.
The Young Vic.
The Young Vic Theatre.
Yeah. Yeah.
In London. How do we feel about the passing of Paul O'Grady? Well, it's very sad, Lawrence. But I didn't know him personally, so you know, people die. You know, this is the unfortunate thing about life. When you get to, dare I say it, 55, 56 plus, anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm in 57 in July.
Really?
So
No, it's true. It's true.
Well, it is true. Yeah.
We've known several people who've just dropped dead.
But you know, my brother died at the age of 22. You know, so there were three of us. There's now two of us.
Yeah, but I'm talking about health.
No, I
in
know,
terms of
but
health.
it can happen at any time, can't it? It can be health at that time as well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. And what happens if our current home
We
sells?
would rent.
We would need to look at renting, yeah.
We'd do a 6-month rent.
I mean, you know, one hopes that that won't be the case, because I know Richard's been looking at keeping an eye on a few properties. I haven't, because I'm not, but Richard is. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it'll all happen at the right time. Yeah. Yeah.
Things do happen at the right time. There will always be issues around buying a house, buying and selling, always. But you have to stand your ground, in our experience. You stand your ground, and you don't do too much negotiating, really. You have to do some, but you stand your ground.
Yeah. David, I think conservatories are lovely. I take your point, but during the summer, hopefully you'll be able to have doors open and to have it as an extra room. I think that's the really lovely thing. And far too cold in the winter. You know, the house that we've stayed at in Wales in the winter, it has a conservatory, you know, and you heat it. And if you've got a modern conservatory, they're really incredibly well insulated as well. Not necessarily as good as bricks and mortar, though modern building techniques may not be.
Well,
that great.
I think they have to be fitted with blinds, appropriate blinds, you know. And I think I've sat in quite a few. Do you remember that little one that our friend had down in Suffolk?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was lovely. It was only small, just enough for a few people to sit in. It wasn't massive, but the view was incredible. And yeah, hopefully to take advantage of a good view, which we're hoping for.
And we took, you know, I remember a fantastic time in a beach, like a bus shelter at Southend-on-Sea, just sitting there in the cold, wrapped up, looking out at the view. And that, you know, that wasn't a conservatory, it was outside, but you can still, you know, you can still enjoy yourself if things are cold, as long as you don't get cold.
Frankly, this house has been just as cold as a conservatory this winter, frankly. It really has. So, you know, hey. Okay. Do we think we'll settle? Well, we're looking at North Wales, so that's what we're looking at the moment. That's where we're sort of focusing our attention, because that's really where we'd like to be. So no point in looking anywhere else at the moment. Is it costly to move? Relatively costly. Depends on how you do it. There are costs involved in solicitors' fees. There are costs,
removals,
removal people.
and of course, if we can't find the house that we want to move to, there'll be rental and possibly even storage charges as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, Paul, would you join in a gardening club or another allotment?
Most probably, yes. I mean, allotments generally have a long waiting list around the country. I mean, our allotment is about 10 years waiting list. The community gardens is about 4, I think, at the moment. So yeah, I think it depends what is there. I was talking to Vivi about Barmouth the other day, and there is an area on the seafront at Barmouth which is a sort of pedestrianised garden, and if we were living in that area, that one might talk to the council. If we didn't have a big enough garden, might talk to the council about them funding plants and things to go in there and doing volunteer work around there. So yeah, there's different options.
You find a way. You find a way.
Yeah.
Okay, Marissa, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I mean, leaky roofs, yeah, absolutely. But Sue, it's the same as a leaky roof in the house. Somebody at the allotment was saying to me the other day that they've just found out that they've got leaking in their bathroom from outside. Plaster needs to come off the wall needs to be redone. Yeah, leaks. I think they're the things we all worried about, aren't they?
Will we continue doing lives in our new home? Well, the reason for doing the lives is because it takes less time to do a live show than it does to pre-record and edit and upload. So that's the reason why we're doing lives at the moment. But I would have thought that, we will continue making videos in one way, shape or form when we move. And in fact, there probably will be an increase in the number of videos that we make because we'll be wanting to share the new phase in our lives with you. So yeah, I'm sure we will.
Will we be doing a house tour? Most probably.
Yes, of course.
As Richard just said, yeah, which I know came after you put the question. What was that one? Do you get your homes inspected?
Yes, you do. You have a survey done.
Do we?
Yeah, of course, you have to. You have to have a survey.
A home buyer survey.
You either have they used to be called a full survey or a home buyer's survey, which was like a light survey. But if you're moving to an older property, it's probably advisable that you have a full survey done. But yes, you do. You are advised to do that, I believe.
Oh yeah, so I read the question the other way around. Do we have to do it for our purchases? It's the other way around. Yeah, like you said. Yeah.
Well, what happened was originally it would be always that if you were buying a property, you would arrange a survey. Then it changed. The law changed, and the person selling the property had to have a survey done of their home to present to new buyers. And then the law changed again. And it's back to how it was before.
Well, it's not the law. It's the fact that if you're having a mortgage on your house, your mortgage provider will demand that you have a survey done. That's the thing. If you're buying a house yourself and you've got cash, you don't need to get a survey done, but it would be sensible to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the rules state that. Yeah. Hello, Gary and Fiona. Welcome.
Sunny Hull. Oh yeah, we went to Hull with Boogie Nights as well. I remember that. Yeah, so I'm sure lots to think of. Where was that, Karina? I love farms. I mean, we wouldn't have one, but I just love farms. I really do.
Yeah, Kelly. People in this country do that as well, but what you tend to do is you tend to price accordingly, and people get the stuff done when they move in. So that's what there are several things that need doing to this property that we will not be doing. because we don't have the money and we don't have the time to do that.
But also, I think that there are two types of buyers really for our house. There's the maybe a couple who are a few years older than us who have kids in London. The couple may have a house in the country and they may want a London bolt hole, so that may be one. And the other, I think, is likely to be a family who want to do their own renovations and put their own stamp on this place. Because the last 10 years around us, every single house has been renovated in one way or another. And even though ours was renovated maybe 23 years ago, something like that, I think a family coming in, they could quite happily, a family of 4 or 5 could quite happily live in this house, but then they might want to extend further or build on the extension that we already have. Because I think our 3.5 bedroom house, it was 4 bedroom, could quite easily, with extension, be turned into a 5 double bedroom ensuite house. So yeah, it has the footprint.
That's the job. The job of the estate agent is to advise you as to what you should do to get the price that they have given, that they have valued your property at. And this area is an area filled with old Victorian properties. Pretty much all very similar. And people who buy into the area buy to get into the catchment area for schools. We have 2 very good rated schools in this area. And people are buying the type of property that they know they will have to do stuff to. And they tend to be all the same kind of issues, really. They're old properties that are drafty. That's just part and parcel. You speak to anybody who lives in one of these properties and it's the same issues. It's drafty, Victorian, needs insulating. But to do that, it's a huge piece of work, and we're not going to be doing that. So, people buy it as seen. It's sold as seen. And that's how it works.
I mean, if this house was in pristine condition, it's in really, really good condition, but if it was in pristine condition, it'd most probably be 150,000 more than we'll be looking at. So, it's horses for courses. It will be priced accordingly, as they say.
And also, the other thing to mention is that we are not the kind of people who are in it to squeeze every single last penny out of the purchase that somebody makes of our home. We're not in it for that. We can be flexible according to what we want out of it, which is a certain amount, but it's not being excessive or greedy, because the house does need stuff doing to it, but that's for a new person to do.
We have a number of things going for us. We have a relatively private garden because of the amount of trees that we've got around us. We've got off-street parking, which is very, very rare in the area.
Very rare.
We're a detached house, which is very, very rare in the area. So there are a number of good things going for our house. Yeah.
That buyers will pay a premium for. So, we have that. That's fortunate for us. So, but
we'll see.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
I
mean, you also hear, on the news that prices are falling by 3% year on year at the moment. So who knows? The thing is, when we get the price that we know we can go for, then, fingers crossed. Yeah. Wales, because we love it. Simple as that, Tango. We visited Wales over the last 4 or 5 years, quite a bit, not during the pandemic, obviously, and we love the area around there. But we're also looking right across east towards Macclesfield, which is where Richard's family, his 2 sisters, currently live, though they're also looking at possibly moving to
potentially
Wales, so in the future. So we don't want to buy in Macclesfield if they're then going to move to Wales.
And it is, I mean, it's the beauty of the place. It's the open space. It's the availability of places to wander on your doorstep. It's the availability of the coastline. Um, so it's all of those things, and it's the things that we hope we'll be able to do in the future. Um, well, Kelly, it's interesting because London is a bubble. The estate agent we've recently spoken to, this local market for ours is quite buoyant.
At the right price.
At the right price. So we're kind of okay. And people tend to buy within London. So who are already in London. We won't be getting people from outside of London buying this property. It will be people within London.
Mm.
So we do exist in a bit of a bubble, which is quite good. Will I get a new job when we move? No, I'm going to continue with my current job at the moment. I'll be doing it remotely for a while.
Siggy, yes. I mean, there's a lot of talk about inflation in the UK at the moment. The rate of inflation on interest is 477%. So actually, when we're talking about energy prices having almost tripled and food prices having doubled, the price of interest has gone up by almost 5 times. So we were paying, because of the interest that we pay on the mortgage, we're now paying virtually 5 times as much interest as we were 18 months ago. So that's over £600 a month extra that we're having to find each month without having the extra income coming in either. So yeah, interest rates are a concern. But they are what they are. They're going up around the world, but they're going up, in my opinion, they're going up around the world for the wrong reasons. Our economy doesn't work the way it did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. We have a new economy now, and interest rates being put up to bring down inflation rate of things that we have no control over is not the way to run an economy, in my opinion.
We certainly will be decorating the spare room to your taste. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm hoping that it'll be a spare room with an ensuite. That is one, going back to the question earlier, the things I would like out of a home. I would like 2 bathrooms because we're used to 2 bathrooms.
There definitely needs to be 2 toilets, yeah.
Yeah.
Preferably 2 bathrooms. And the thing is, Vivi, that if we obviously, because we don't know where we're going to be moving to, we haven't seen that house yet. We don't know what the layout is of the house that we will have. But what we're convinced we can do for you, Vivi, is put a shed up outside with level access to it, maybe sort of 6 by 8. And we'll just pop a bed in there and you'll be very happy.
She would be happy. She would
totally
be happy in there, of course.
I'll put a few spades in there, a few forks in there, a couple of hand tools, some seeds, and you'll be as happy as Larry. Definitely.
What makes you think you're having a shed?
If we don't have a room that Vivi can get to, we're going to have a shed.
I would like a garage.
You would like a garage.
I would like a garage with power.
Yeah.
How?
I don't, Linda, I'm not sure this will be our forever home. I'm glad that you found yours. I'm not sure ours. Having a boat dock. I don't think you wouldn't like a boat dock, would you?
No, I don't like
that.
Oh, God, no. I hate boat houses. Oh, God, no. Oh, it sends a shiver down my spine.
How difficult would my work be, Tango Elliot? Well, I go to, for Earth's sake, like once a month. Otherwise, I work from home. So I think I'll still be doing that, maybe once every 6 weeks. But yeah. Oh, we can have Vivi's shed. Oh, that's all right. It's bigger than 6 by 8, isn't it? That one. So
no,
right.
I don't have any tattoos, and I won't be getting any tattoos.
Who asked about tattoos?
David.
No,
I thought about it years ago, but I decided no, and I'm glad I did because that area of my body really, really is saggy now.
Which area? Sorry, I wasn't
I'm
listening to
not
you.
going to tell you on air, Paul.
Your bum.
No.
Oh.
My bum's as tight as it. No. Anyway.
As tight as the nuns. What?
I didn't say nuns.
I thought you were going to say that.
I didn't even go. I didn't even go there, Paul. That's disgusting.
Oh dear. There we are. Yeah. I do notice that since I've lost weight, my bottom has shrunk.
Don't start talking
because
about
the back of my underpants, they sort of fall down from the top under my sort of butt cheeks.
No, that's because the elastic has gone in a number of the undies, I've noticed.
I'm walking along and I can feel my undies slipping down at the back. Yeah.
No.
So yeah.
Any pets? No. No, definitely not.
We want some time to explore and do things. So yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, no, pets are just too much responsibility. We take that responsibility extremely seriously, probably too seriously, to be honest.
I don't think we take it too seriously.
Well, we always have.
We take it seriously.
They become our babies.
They should. That's it. They're part of the family.
They become our babies. We become so attached. Yeah, but we've known a few people over the years that leave animals regularly. And
well, Mum and Dad, they used to leave Marmalade, Marmaduke, Puss in Boots, Savidor, Mark 3. They used to leave him to come here, but he would actually be outside in the greenhouse and the shed, so was completely covered. And my sister-in-law would go and feed him every day. So yeah, but he was very much an outside cat. He really was. He lived most of the time outside rather than inside.
And the thing is the anguish that that both of us used to feel if we did leave them for any length of time, even if somebody was living in. But there would always be a problem. There would always be a problem. You know, we'd always get a text saying, I can't find them. They've disappeared. And they were like hiding under the bed and, you know, things like that. And it's like always an issue. And I don't want that kind of anxiety to add to the usual anxiety I feel every day. I don't want any more. So I don't want to add to our issues. I want us to feel free to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. That's what I want, you know, a sense of freedom. We have managed to have that sense of freedom since Peanut died, which was 2018, I think. Was it? Yeah. You know, we've had that freedom. Yes, the love you feel and the companionship you get and the fun you have having a companion animal is lovely, but no, we want freedom now, you know.
Anita, it was Marmalade, Marmaduke, Puss in Boots, Savidor Mark 3, that one.
How pretentious, Paul.
Really? Yeah, so yeah, the first one came along and I named it, so yeah, there we are. Oh, we have each other. Oh.
Well, we do have each other, and that's the thing, you know, who wants in life, really, who wants the extra worry and the extra burden of little babies, you know?
Well, we have enjoyed
we had that for a while, and we committed to it, and it cost us a fortune, and all the rest of the things that go with it. And I don't want to go through that again. I really don't.
And Tony, yes, they're most, you know, if we're living near other houses, they'll most probably have cats.
Yeah, little visitors.
If they have dogs and we get friendly with them, we might be able to take the dog for a walk, you know, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, here we've got cats in the garden all the time. I just said to Richard, there's one earlier, I said Rufus is in the back garden. And Rufus is a cat that's about 17 and just loves being stroked. And he's always out and about, isn't he?
Yeah, but again, with the sort of looking after other people's animals as well, a line has to be drawn,
Oh yeah, no,
because then you get
absolutely.
we're going on holiday for 2 weeks. Would you feed the cat?
No,
And then
yeah.
you get drawn into, you then have to be there for those 2 weeks.
Mm.
You can't suddenly decide because you've made a commitment. And if we make a commitment to something, we make a commitment.
Yeah.
We see it through.
We had a friend.
So you've got to be aware of this.
We look after a friend's cat when she goes away to see her family, and she goes away 4 or 5 times a year to see family. And her mum wasn't well and was nearing the end of her life, and she said, "I need to go." And she went, and this was just, I mean, it doesn't really matter. She went for 4 weeks and ended up being away for 4 months, and we looked after that her cat very happily for 4 months. And I think that when we move, I think then we would like there to be more responsibility to ourselves than to other people. Which is not meaning that we're not going to, engage with other people and all of that. But I think, as Richard was saying, it's time to just have some time really for ourselves.
And I think also it's about the ability to get to a stage in your life where you know exactly what you enjoy, you know exactly how you like your days to go, and you have the ability to say no to people, and take control. And I think we spent many years saying yes to everything. Yeah, we'll do that. Yes, we'll look after them. Yes, we'll do this. Yes, we'll paint your house. Yes, we'll do whatever. Sometimes you have to say no.
Yeah.
And you have to say, no, it doesn't suit me. I'm sorry, I have to decline your very generous offer. And, and go with it, because I think generally in life we have been quite helpful people.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot for friends over the years, but sometimes you have to say no. So, yeah.
I mean, it's like people have been saying to me, well, you're really going to miss the community at the allotment when you move, because I think we do have a very special community at the allotment. I think we do. I mean, someone said to me the other day, I met someone, and I was in Lidl and I bought 2 blueberry plants for another plot holder. And I saw a tenant who's at a different allotment, and he said, "Oh, that would never happen at ours. You'd never get your money back." Well, I got the money back straight away. She was happy and I got the money. Anyway, what I was really going to say is I will miss that community, but I won't miss the responsibility, because actually I've taken my role as chair very seriously and really tried to improve relations on the site and improve the site as a whole. And when I do leave, there will be so much that has been achieved in 5 years. But all of that has been about responsibility and taking responsibility for things. And it would be quite nice not to have that responsibility in the future. So, yeah, I think if we weren't leaving, I would be standing down as chair from the end of this growing year anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, about saying no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Losing animals, yeah.
Losing animals is horrendous, and it's that whole process. And yeah, I know.
And I think unlike with family members, when you lose family members, virtually everybody has lost a family member, even if they're sort of relatively young. They may have lost a granddad or great granddad or something like that. There are still those people who've never had animals, and when you say that you've lost a cat, or a dog or something, there are still those people who don't understand because they've never had it, and they go, well, sure, it's just a cat. It's like, no, it's that sort of like a member of the family. And they're yeah, it has a different perspective in some people's minds. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The whole process is horrible, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And it's, yeah, that's the way of things. It is the way,
It is, yeah.
as they say on The Mandalorian. This is the way.
So yeah, moving segment.
Moving swiftly on. Well, in an ideal world, Caroline, yes. Yeah.
But the world's not ideal, sadly, Caroline, as you know.
Yeah, the chances of organising something like that would be probably nearly zero.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's move on to the final segment of the show.
And we're at 1:35, so I think we'll make it swift.
Yeah, because I've got to get on. Yes, that's right. I've got to get on with that painting. It's not going to do it itself. AI is not going to do my painting for me.
It's not. And I need to put on a green curry, a green lentil curry, and get down to the plot and do last segment of a week at the plot as well.
Yeah.
So
things to do.
So we've watched the usuals this week. Really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Always do.
Very good. I mean, such a good show. It's very clever writing, because it sort of really reflects what Star Wars was originally meant to kind of be, which was episodic, episodic sci-fi akin to Flash Gordon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of, what George Lucas was inspired by, and The Mandalorian really reflects that. Fun, episodic, edge of seat viewing, so we're really enjoying that.
And Picard we've continued with, obviously, really enjoying that as well.
Again, quality sci-fi.
But we started something new last night, didn't we?
We did. We started the series called The Power, which again is a sci-fi series.
On Prime.
Not strictly sci-fi, it's more sort of mystery at the moment with a sci-fi edge, starring Toni Collette, who is one of my favourite actresses. Toni Collette has done an awful lot over the years and does really well at portraying strong women, shall we say.
So that's worth a watch.
We won't say anything about it in case you watch it. We don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it is, it's compelling viewing, actually. Really well put together, really well produced. So that's good. Recommended.
And we also started the 2 decades old series now of Spaced.
Oh, Spaced, yeah, classic. Channel 4 classic, with Simon Pegg. And Jessica, what's her name now?
Oh, it's not Jessica Fletcher.
It was Jessica Hines, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jessica Hines.
Is she Jessica Stevens?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. But yeah, Spaced. Excellent classic 90s show.
Channel 4, free on Channel 4, Channel 4 View or
One
whatever.
of my favourite ever series, Spaced. Love it.
We'll talk about that a bit more next week, I think. Yeah.
We also started Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah. Which is a really odd film. It's got Woody Harrelson in it. We got halfway through and we stopped. I want to watch the rest. Why did we
stop?
Because they were vomiting.
Oh my God, the vomiting scene. Couldn't watch it because for fear of me vomiting as well.
It's set on a cruise ship, on an elitist cruise ship. Very rich people, very privileged people, and the weather got really bad during a dinner.
And the point of the scene is that no matter how rich and privileged you are, if you're at sea in bad weather, it's going to affect you like it would any other povo.
Yeah. And in fact, it was affecting the rich people, but not the people that were serving them, because they were used to that weather.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I might
watch the rest of it.
Difficult viewing. I can't even laugh at it because I was on the verge of vomiting myself.
Whilst I was in fits of laughter.
While you were laughing, I was like...
The thing
So,
is, they do end up on a desert island, so we might.
Okay.
I think we're going
Don't
to
give the spoiler
No,
away,
I'm
Paul.
not,
Paul's
but
just spoilt it for anybody who's not watched it.
But
Paul
people,
is the king of spoilers. Seriously, you may continue now.
No,
Oh,
no.
we're going to have a little on-screen little domestic, are we, Paul? Just because I've just accused you of being a spoiler, which you are.
I am. I'm
God.
terrible. Yeah, what are those things? Not Easter eggs. What is it?
Yes, Paul is an Easter egg.
I'm an Easter egg laid by a bunny. Yeah.
With Jesus in the middle.
With a submachine gun. I think we'll go back to it and just see how it ends.
Just skip the vomiting.
Yeah, skip the vomiting.
God.
Yeah.
So
and then we've watched the rest.
The
usuals.
QT question time, which was particularly fun this week.
Yeah.
Watching the Conservative minister being slaughtered.
Yeah.
MSW, Murder, She Wrote. We watched a classic one, Nan's Ghost.
Nan's Ghost,
which is a two-parter.
Yeah, yeah.
DD, Dragon's Den, which was quite good this week.
It was, yeah.
Trying to guess who's going to get given the money.
Yeah.
And yes, that's it.
That's it.
That's it for TV this week. Oh, what is the time? Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 12:43 p.m.
Nearly time for lunch.
It is.
I thought I was beginning to feel a little bit spaced out and dizzy.
Elias Grace, we'll have a look at that, Robin. We'll have a look
What
at
is
that.
that?
Yeah. He says it's on Netflix.
Oh,
So we'll have a look at that.
So, all that remains to be said is thank you, bloody thank you for watching and tuning in and supporting us here on YouTube.
And
watch the refund. Oh, I've just scratched my leg. I'm bleeding.
Oh, you're bleeding.
I'm bleeding. I've just scratched a scratch on my leg.
And thanks, Vivi, for coming on and being there and being adjudicator. Thankfully, there were...
Adjudicator?
Yeah, what's it? Administrator.
Moderator. And Jane. Jane was moderating too.
Jane, I didn't see Jane.
Yeah, Jane was here as well.
Jane, hi, Jane.
Thank you, literally bloody thank you, because my leg is now bleeding.
Let's see the blood.
Not profuse, just a little scratch. My sock is currently soaking up any excess blood.
Right, yeah,
okay.
We're going.
We are going now. Thank you. I'm literally fading because I need refueling.
You do.
With carbs.
So it's going to be soup,
crackers, and cheese of some description.
I think cottage
Low
cheese.
fat cottage cheese.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. Yeah.
So say goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye bye all. Bye bye Jane. Bye bye Vivi.
Thank you very much.
I did that with a little tune.
Did you, Paul?
Yeah.
Copyright.
Yeah. No, it's my own tune. Yeah.
So thank you, and we will see you. Well, it's got to get a little bit serious occasionally, Craig.
Absolutely.
You know, life is serious, and I certainly can't be in comedy mode for almost 2 hours. I don't think so. Just haven't got it in me. So you know, we have to cover things that are topical too.
Oh, I didn't know Blue Pony Farm was here either. Bye,
Lovely.
Blue Pony Farm.
So thank you very much, everybody. We're saying goodbye, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye all.
Take care. I'm pressing the little kiss now. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Say goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.